So, Staff Sergeant Ian Gillan, I'll start with two shakes on who I am. I'm a 31-year member of the RCMP. My whole service has been in Alberta, which we call K Division. Half my career was in undercover drug work, specifically organized crime. I bought coke, meth, heroin right inside the vestibule account, a place downtown. I bought methamphetamine in the bathroom at the old hotel in West Lac. I've done all kinds of fun cop things. As it sits right now, I'm in the latter part of my career. I supervise a section of drug cops and homicide cops and crime prevention and a few other things. What I will say, it's probably, I consider myself very lucky among my peers to work in Alberta because of the citizens of Alberta, for the most part, and I guarantee you we're no angels. We take our lumps when they come along, but we get really good support from the citizens across the board. And I'll echo what Chief Rain said about the influences of our electronic mass media culture right now. It's a huge issue when I'm watching all my young officers with all, we went from the start of COVID doing birthday drive-bys and appreciation siren shows for all kinds of happy citizens to within about 2 weeks we're in full tilt ACAP movement and everything that we're seeing on international media. That's really tough for the young officers to watch that and not internalize it. What is hugely appreciated from our point of view is citizens. My officers go through a Tim's drive-through, somebody's bought their coffee, somebody shows up at the detachment and brings treats or appreciation cards or flags. So the positive input from the citizens of Alberta is hugely appreciated. And I'm not going to touch on all the standard cop things about we don't have resources, we don't have legislation, we don't have this, that, and the other. Those things are all true. There's an awful lot of areas we can make changes in, and some of it is federal, and some of it is provincial, and down to the bottom end, some of it even falls to our villages and hamlets and counties. So there's areas to change all across that. And if I've said lots of times, if I was talking to my political masters, I would ask them to actually come out and talk to officers on the street. And I know we have a lot of highly educated members of our own in our own hierarchy, but they're not necessarily the street cops. And the street cops are the guys that are dealing with the methamphetamine, the crack cocaine, the fentanyl, all of the other street issues that we've got. And I can tell you from being in drug enforcement in Alberta in the 90s, right before crack cocaine and meth hit, as a jurisdiction, I don't think there's a jurisdiction anywhere in North America that has figured out how to deal with crack cocaine and methamphetamine. And methamphetamine is a massive issue for us. So I don't know. I don't want to go down a huge negative road with all the bad things there, but some of the stuff, like I say, at a federal level, we could do with some decent surveillance and intercept laws that would support some of the things that citizens talk about, cameras in places. The amount of work an officer has to go through to get one of those installed and up in a location is absolutely staggering. Other jurisdictions do in 1 or 2 days what it takes us 6 months to a year to achieve because we have that level of oversight. So some federal laws could be changed that would be very helpful. Some of the provincial laws are starting to change and it's nice to see because quite frankly that theft of metal where we have guys down on 779 highway there as far away as they can get from the police station at Morinville and the other one in Parkland, hooking up to a line of tech cable and stealing a couple of $100,000 worth of cable that they shred and melt down and they get $400 or $500. It's nice to see that we're going to do something about some of these things. And again, coming down to the lowest levels, I probably stay right out of funding issues, but I do appreciate when we get a little bit of extra help. Sometimes it's not the actual policeman that we need, it's the office support staff. The amount of, it's probably disingenuous to call it frivolous paperwork, but anybody that works with computers knows that they did not reduce the amount of time that you spend writing and explaining things to other agencies that want a massive thing. So one of the reasons, I mean, back in my road days, I knew every farmer in my road. I knew where I could get good apple pie. I knew which farmhouses had the best chili and where I could go hang out and get a cinnamon bun. And the young guys don't really know that anymore because they run from a 911 call to another 911 call and then back to the office, and they write for 4 or 5 hours on the computer. We would do well. Some jurisdictions in the U.S., they don't do that kind of report writing and everything. They write reports when people are charged, no charges, no reports. Anyway, just like I said, little food for thought on each level,